better late than never, especially when the guy can kill you. We welcome now a man who I believe to be one of a three-horse race in the heavyweight division of mixed martial arts. It's Brock Lesnar, Fedor Emelianenko, and my guest at this time from the Ultimate Fighting Championships. Let's welcome to the show, Frank MIR. Frank, do I have that right? Is it down to you three, Fedor, you, and Brock?
I believe so. I don't know. Right now, it's one thing great about being in the heavyweight division that we didn't have, a couple of years ago is that there's several names in that list. Everybody's watching the Cain Velasquez and Nogueira fight. I know I will be. That's in the heavyweight division to see what's going to happen. There's a lot of guys out there right now. And we have a lot of up and comers. Got a kid Stefan Struve, who's 7 foot tall, running around there, fighting his way up. Todd Duffy, I trained with him. His debut in the UFC, knocks a guy out in 3 seconds. So right now, there's a lot of interesting matchups and stuff. So it's definitely a more competitive weight class. So if you could say you're one of the best now, it's something to be proud of.
Were you disappointed that Fedor didn't sign with UFC, and what do you think his reasoning was behind that, Frank?
Yeah, I'm disappointed, but I realize too. I think Fedor doesn't care about the business aspect of our sport. I think he pretty much fights wherever his management puts him, and I think that maybe financially, for whatever reason, they felt it was best to avoid the UFC. I got to think, though, Fedor is a pretty competitive guy. He does sambo competitions to this day, still on his own, So he wants to compete, and just fighting at Strikeforce. Who's he going to fight over there? I don't know. I think if you want some tough competition, the UFC is where you go in any weight class, and especially in the heavyweight class. He's the only heavyweight I can think of that's in the top 10 that's outside of the UFC.
Talk about the animosity between you and Lesnar. How deep does it run? How real is it?
Well, I don't think Lesnar made it in pro wrestling because of his acting abilities. So I know from his point of view, he doesn't like me, and I can guarantee you, talk to anybody in my family, it's a legitimate hate. It's been very motivated on my part, where it's just his very being bugs me, just because I see that, there's a lot of children out there that, they look to athletes and martial artists as role models, and it just makes me cringe. I sit there and go, man, I lost this guy the second time around, and now people are out there going, well, that's the way to be big, obnoxious, and angry. I'm like, no, man, that's not right. So it's almost kind of like a, just a viewpoint, anger we have against each other, where everything I stand for, he despises and dislikes, and I can tell you I truly do not like him as a person whatsoever.
Now, he had surgery. He'll be back later this year. At what point do you think he and you get together again?
I'm hoping that, if all goes well. I got Shane Carwin March 27th, and that's a tough guy. So if I get past him, then I'm looking to hopefully fight him sometime this summer.
You were once the head bouncer at the Spearmint Rhino Strip Club in Las Vegas. Not quite as tough as the Octagon, I bet.
No. The guys that are going to that's one thing when people tell me, oh, man, I've had like 50 bar fights. I'm undefeated. I'm like, really? My wife could be undefeated in 50 bar fights. Typically, most guys here aren't in shape. They can't fight for more than 15 seconds. And I've seen men who think they know how to fight. The first thing they do is they grab T-shirts, they lower their head and it looks like a hockey fight. Give me a break, man. I think people, they get a couple of drinks. And another thing is, too, is you have that to where they couldn't fight to begin with, and now they're drunk. So, yeah, fighting in an octagon against a guy who's a trained athlete, who's dangerous, who's prepared to do battle, a little bit more intimidating than a guy who's just, got spurned by some dancer and he's angry and he's been drinking a bunch of drinks and couldn't, jog a mile, let alone fight for more than 5 seconds. He gets gassed just by getting mad.
What makes you so popular, Frank? I don't think it's an exaggeration to say your fan base ranks among MMA's biggest.
I'd like to think that just for the reason that I'm pretty candid in when I speak about things. A lot of individuals are so worried about being politically correct. And, a lot of fighters, when we're all together, I hear them, oh, don't say that because, the fans won't like you. I'm like, you know what, dude? I've realized a long time ago you're going to have fans that love you and fans that hate you. And I'd rather go ahead and say what's on my mind than to sit there and come up with some PC, the guy's a great fighter and I have a lot of respect for him. And if I don't mean it, then why is it even coming out of my mouth? Because who's interested in hearing that? You say the same cookie-cutter responses. Oh, who do you want to fight next? Well, whoever the UFC deems me, I just will fight anybody. I'm like, man, I've heard that 1,000 times. I want to fight Lesnar. I hate who he is as a person. I want to break his neck in the ring. I want him to be the first person that dies due to octagon-related injuries. That's what's going through my mind.